those present here. We are looking forward to more of the delegates joining soon. I think she would like to announce. You want to make an announcement?
I'll turn this off.
Good. I will now invite. Hello. I will now invite Mr. Abhijit Agarwal, IAS Managing Director, MP State Electronics Development Corporation, on the stage, please, sir. Please welcome. And I would also like to invite Mr. Atul Lal to join Mr. Agarwal on the stage. Mr. Agarwal is an IAS officer from the 2010 batch, and currently he serves as the MD MP SEDC, which is the nodal agency for development of electronics and the IT industry in the state. We have been very closely engaged with MP SEDC for quite some time, and in fact they have been also part of a few of our delegations going to Taiwan, and they have been actively promoting the electronics industry in the state. There are two electronics clusters also in MP. One is in Bhopal and the other is in Jabalpur, I think. The one in Bhopal I think is already quite well populated. The one in Jabalpur I am not so well aware of, but these two are approved by the Ministry of Electronics and IT under their scheme for EMCs. MP, as we all know, is Madhya Pradesh is the central state. At one time the largest state in the country, now the second largest after Chhattisgarh was carved out of it, but still has a very large land area, and it's famous for a lot of its culture, its temples. We've all heard about the famous places over there. It is also the 10th largest economy in the state, in the country, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It has got about 7 or 7.5 crore population, so it's a very good place that way, but it needs, I think, more industrial investment, has huge potential, and Mr. Agarwal's team is actively involved in this process. So Mr. Agarwal will be making a presentation about the state policies and making us aware of what is the potential over there. So I invite more of the delegates to please join us here and to listen about the state and to take this opportunity. And I would also like, I'm happy to announce that Mr. Abhijit Agarwal and his team, Ms. Avantika and others, are available here for any discussion you would like to have after the session. They will be here for that, right, sir? So anybody who would like to talk more about any potential investments in the state, please do be there and give let us know your interest, and we will arrange the meeting for you. May I now invite Abhijit ji to please make the presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. It's very difficult to hold the audience after the lunch. That's what we call as our industry partner from Dixon, Shri Atul Lal ji, and who happens to be the chairman, president of Elsina as well, Shri Raju Goyal ji, all the members from the industry. I would like to thank Elsina first to giving us an opportunity to present our case in this audience. So majorly I'll talk about how MP can fare in the whole ESDM kind of a system. And MP SEDC, as Raju Goyal ji has mentioned, that is the nodal agency, and we are also the IT and the electronic infra developer. And we also happens to be an IT company as well. We have around 500 plus software engineers in house. So it will develop a lot of software products for the state government as well as for the central government. So we happen to learn how IT system work, how electronics, whole ecosystem works. So I'll just first talk about like 2.5% is the roughly contribution of ESDM in the current GDP. And CAGR expected to grow at 32.5% in next 5 years. That's how the industry projections are. And the kind of workforce it has a very good income elasticity of 13 million workforce it caters to, which is even more than the number of workforce it has in IT. And 220 billion is the revenue of this industry in India. So as we join the Atmanirbhar and the vision statement of Honorable PM that India should become a 5 trillion economy, for which the contribution of IT and electronic has to be very major, and electronic manufacturing said to be around $1 trillion. So how we as a state MP is able to or is planning to contribute in the whole ecosystem. So I'll not talk first about what we give. I'll first talk about how we can facilitate the industry. So that is my first point of presentation, that we came up with the idea that a lot of industries feel a lot of pain in terms of getting permissions. There are around 20 to 30 permissions which one has to take. So why don't we do the reverse kind of a thing? So now industries can take permission later on. They start setting up their units. So state came up with an act after the Global Investor Summit, where Rajuji was also there, that now you can set up your industries. We will not ask you for permissions right away. It will be 3 years moratorium that will be given, and nobody will come to your premise to inspect you even. We'll provide you a certificate, and that will be done. So this has already been implemented. So this is one of the very interesting and the new thing that we implemented in Madhya Pradesh, and we have already given acknowledgement certificate to a lot of industries in electronics as well as in IT. And there is already a 30 days start your business concept wherein a lot of services are, if not given permission in 30 days, then they are deemed to be notified. So that's how the first thing is how efficiently we can give the land and the other support to the industry. Now I'll come to the availability of the land and what is our presence of the in the whole state. As Rajuji has mentioned that MP is the second largest state and having a very large canvas. And we happens to have almost touching 6 to 7 states as a border. So being in a central location, it caters to a very large market in the whole country. And if you see, there are 4 regions: Indore, Bhopal, Jabalpur and Gwalior. So we have almost like, I would say 13,000 acres of industrial land which is available. And that makes a good case that wherever you feel like, if you want to set up something in Gwalior, you can do that. If you want to set something in Indore, you can do that. So availability of land is not an issue. Then becomes the point of affordability of the land. So we try to map the cost of land within the EMC, what are the kind of rates we have. So we fare almost like half or even 1/4 of the major costs that are there in the major electronic manufacturing clusters. I believe that land costs around 15% of the whole project, 10 to 15% of the whole project. So saving a good amount of money on the land also, makes a good sense for investment as far as the industry is concerned. And what are the ecosystem that we see in the state of Madhya Pradesh as a collective thing? There are around 150 plus ESDM units which are already there, and we have got very stable 30,000 plus megawatt electricity generation, stable and surplus as well. We have got huge tract of Narmada flowing from east to west, and we have 900 MCM water availability. So water remains a very important ingredient for this industry, especially in a lot of value chain. And we have already 2 ESDM parks which are available in Bhopal and one in Jabalpur. And we already have submitted another proposal for Bhopal, which is worth 300 crores to MITI, and we are yet to get some approvals from them. The connectivity is unparalleled. Being a centrally located, moving to any of the ports is almost like a maximum 10 to 12 hours of a journey. And if you see this grid, you can see 50% of the population coverage is in the adjoining state. So it makes a very good sense for consumer kind of electronics and the consumer kind of industry that electronics can see them. There are 5 commercial airports in the state. There are 6 inland container depots, and there are 26 operational airstrips as well. And let me tell you, we were just having a internal meeting at Chief Minister's office. So there are 10 strips which are jet ready. See, if somebody wants to really come with a jet in MP, then there are 10 strips in MP which are even jet ready. So that was, so what are the strength of state collectively? We have a very stable kind of an ecosystem, environment, no social unrest, no labor unrest. You would never find such kind of a thing in state of Madhya Pradesh, politically highly stable. We have got a very good talent base of skilled manpower. Talent cost, manpower cost is roughly, we evaluated and did the benchmarking, it was around 30 to 50% lesser than the tier 1. Power is available at a very competitive rate. And we have got the best of the cities in terms of cleanliness and how we are managing our cities. Indore has been 7 times in a row the cleanest city in the country, and the Bhopal has been the cleanest capital in the country. So these are certain stats. There are 270 plus technical institutes. We have a good pool of ITI graduates, which happens to be the feed source for a lot of electronics supply chain. And there is almost like 20% of enrollment of female as well, wherein a lot of industry in our requirement is going towards the gender sensitization and the ratios. So this is a proposed IT park glimpse that we have already submitted the proposal, and we are awaiting the sanctions from MITI. So now we'll also like to talk about the investment policy that we curated after a lot of discussions last year, and we just got this policy out before the elections were announced in MP. Just 2 days back. I mean, we were rushing through so that we are able to have whatever thought process we had. And one of the very interesting things we did this time is that we published our draft policy to the industry. We solicited their opinion on the policy, and then we were able to push it through. So what are our major kind of assistance? What we feel especially in ESDM is majorly we are thirsting more on a capex side rather than more on the OPEX side. So our major pitch is to have a handsome assistance in terms of capex assistance. So we have benchmarked ourselves with most of the states, and we are giving 40% of capital assistance on up to investment of 300 crore, and 150 crore is the ceiling for that. And interest assistance we are giving up to 10 crores. And there is a very interesting phenomena. We realize that a lot of industries are not able to utilize their interest because there happens to be an annual ceiling in most of the policies. So we created a wallet kind of a system wherein that 10 crore can be utilized as a wallet, because in the initial years when the industry is being set up, your interest burden are high, but gradually you reduce your interest burden. So this 10 crore is a wallet that you keep consuming based on your, and this effect is from the date of start of term loan, not from the date of start of commercial production, because you have to raise early to set up your plants, then only you are able to get your commercial operations done. So these are really some new fundamentals that we wanted to introduce in our policy. We have also allowed one-time import of second-hand machineries as a measure that if somebody wants some really niche machines which are not available in the country, not domestic, rerouting from one state to another, but one-time import will be allowed in our policy. And we are also trying to promote women entrepreneurs by giving them 2% additional assistance. And we can curate a customized policy even for more than investment, which is 300 crores. And one of the very interesting thing that our inclusion in terms of ESDM also includes now testing labs as well. Because we realize that in ESDM ecosystem, you need to have very strong ESDM testing labs. So they are also under the part of electronics. R&D labs are also a part of our ESDM definition. So That's how we are trying to pose all the incentive structures. So 40% assistance is what our major thrust point is. And one of the very interesting thing that we have added in our policy is a major policy statement that we should now think of creating a incentive or creating a vertical for electronic system design manufacturers, infra developers, which was not there, because in the time we see that these are the kind of units which will come up, which will create an ecosystem, a symbiotic relationship between somebody is creating an infra and somebody is trying to leverage that infra. So this is a new assistance vertical that we created in our whole policy to give 25% of assistance up to 25 crore for creation of electronics vertical factories and factory sheds with common facilities. We want the similar kind of system that we have in Taiwan or Hong Kong, where end shipment goes out of that building, rather than you have to first take the middleware to somewhere, then some packaging wala guy will come. So we are trying to think that way, that let's have that kind of ecosystem in place. Let the industry consume it right away. There are already made factory sheds, and in our EMC proposed one, we have even created 5 lakh square feet of vertical factory we have planned for right away from the day one. So, and secondly also we were trying to think that there can be two ways we can see the whole assistance. One is 25% for industry with common facilities and 15% for industry without common facilities, wherein small built up can also be recognized around 25,000 square feet. So this was a very new kind of a assistance matrix that we pulled out. And if you see the ROI on investment for private developers comes out to be around 27%, wherein we are also giving rebate up to 75% on the cost of land. Recently we gave 37 acres to Secure Meters, and they have indicated investment of 1100 crores in next 5 years. So we already have a Secure Meter with us, and recently, and if you see the ROI for ESDM units put together, it comes out to around 34-35% with capex put in and cost of land included. So and today we are I was in the previous session as well, we have got a good piece of land just in front of IIIT Gwalior with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Today I am announcing a PCB cluster in Gwalior with a land parcel of 100 acres. Can we have a good round of applause for this? And it really forms a very good basis, because Gwalior is in a triad of MP, Rajasthan and UP, and it's a very strategically located place, and there is a very good mobility for Delhi and NCR. People are actually finding it very difficult to have to match with the scale of the cost of operations in Delhi NCR. So Gwalior happens to be a very good place to source the operation or shift the operations to Gwalior from Delhi NCR and near around areas, and it can cater to the bigger market that it opens to all the places which are near around 3-4 states are there. UP has 25 crore population, MP has got 8.5, Rajasthan has got 6.5. So we are up for it, and we'll also announce this, and we'll do all the facility management that is required. Availability of water is not an issue, and we have already made a DPR for this. So we'll start the work ASAP, and we would request the industry to evaluate this. We would happen to, we'll be happy to hold them if they want to have a visit of the site. If they want some more clarity and detail, we'll be more than happy to do that. So this is the idea that, and this happens to be right next to the city outskirts, and just opposite to IIIT Gwalior campus. So that is all from our side, and what we are actually interested in, that we'll facilitate industry with all the support that industry is looking to. In fact, just to give an example, we got a proposal very recently from LTI, L&T Infotech, and We were able to give them land in 2 days. 10 acres of land in Indore. In 2 days, land worth 100 crore, we had given them at 11 crore rupees. So we are quite welcoming and in terms of state. Please come. I'm here with the team, and we are very open to discussions to understand, evaluate what all proposals you have, and we'll be more than happy if some more asks are there which can be taken to cabinet committee. But all we want is that industry should evaluate Madhya Pradesh as a major coming hub, as a major market. And I'll tell you that Indore is becoming a major cluster for automotive. Around there 30-35% automotive manufacturing is now being sourced from Indore and around. Indore is also, and Indore and Ujjain is becoming a major cluster for apparel and ready-made garments. So there is a lot of automotive electronic that goes into these kind of, and Ujjain is also becoming a medtech kind of a city. So any kind of these kind of supply chain ecosystem can be created, such value proposition can be generated. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhijit Agrawalji. It was, I think MP is a secret to be explored. There is a lot there, and I really think that industry needs to look at it a little more carefully. Regarding the PCB cluster, I would like to just, from LCNA's point of view, we did work on a PCB cluster in Gwalior about maybe a few years back, maybe more than a few years back, and I think that place is really wonderful. That location is very nice. Somehow it kind of slipped between two stools, so to say, but it would be a really good idea. And a lot of support would be required from the government, because a lot of common facilities are required. And even to the extent that some common, like one of the proposals from the industry was that you should have a common drilling facility, because drilling machines are very expensive and they are common for everybody. So I think something like that would really reduce the investment and make it viable for industry to go ahead, other than the pollution control, etc. So if there is anything anybody would like to ask Mr. Abhijit ji, please, I think you would like to say something. Otherwise, I would request Mr. Mitesh.
Just before making this announcement, I had a discussion with Secretary Pollution Control Board. And he said we'll be able to give the permission in 30 days as far as the pollution is concerned. And environmental clearances will be probably done in 2 to 3 months. That's what he has committed me right there. And he's a very bright officer, 2012 batch. So I was trying to see, if I'm making a commitment, whether we'll be able to deliver it or not. So if I'm saying from a munch, then probably that's what we meant to be. Right. Thank you.
We have
coming in here,
yeah.
Raju ji, I'll just intervene.
Please, sir. All.
Abhijit ji, thanks very much for an extremely eye-opening kind of a presentation. I wish more of our members and delegates would have been here in this hall, but no issues. I think from LCNA side, we're going to communicate to them. I think you are sitting on a very large opportunity, and what you are trying to create as a PCB cluster is somehow happening at an opportune time. Just to share with you, the Government of India Ministry of Commerce has just notified an anti-dumping duty on PCBs, which is going to be notified by Ministry of Finance, I think very, very shortly. So I think it's a huge, huge business case, and was also you showed in your presentation a comparative figure that your capex cost, particularly on the land side, is significantly lower. I think it can be an extremely attractive business proposition for the entrepreneurs, because as far as the EMS ecosystem in North is concerned, that has already emerged in Noida, Greater Noida, and Delhi NCR. But the cost there on the land side, on the construction side, have skyrocketed. And these are all accessible places. So I think also I would request that what you are bringing on the table is amazing. Along with LCNA, we need to communicate this to both foreign and domestic potential investors. I think it can be an exciting cooperation between LCNA and MP government.
Thank you, Atulji, for such an encouragement for our efforts, and we'll be more than happy, to engage with LCNA and all such associated bodies to have a very clear, message in the market and with the industry, so that what all our offerings are and how we can actually, facilitate the ESDM expansion in the state of Madhya Pradesh. We'll be more than willing to. Yeah.
Sir,
That's why I came all the way, because I wanted that, what are we trying to do is actually should go right.
Yeah, you need to communicate more, because there's a huge package you are offering.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Abhijit ji, I have one question, maybe two. First of all, it's so heartening to hear about secure meters coming, one of the good companies, quality companies in India. I really like them. And they are starting a PCB fab in Madhya Pradesh. One important question is, for any PC fab, they need abundant water supplies and quality of water supply, especially when plating is involved. That is one thing, how your government is going to ensure that continuous supply of quality water. Second, PCB manufacturing is actually not just one part of it's a multiple process. So you need materials like solder masks, chemistries, it's mechanical, chemical combination of multiple processes. Is it going to be just the PCB manufacturing, cluster, or even the materials subsystems are involved there also? Are you attracting such suppliers there to establish facilities there?
I'll answer both of your queries. One, we have already worked out for the availability of the water. There are multiple dams. And just to give you a heads up on the numbers, MP has increased its potential of water. The irrigation potential itself has increased from 7 lakh hectares to 40 lakh hectares, 44 lakh hectares in last 15 years. So you see how the usage of water has grown tremendously. So we have already worked out the water availability for that cluster, A. B, if you happen to, tackle the whole ecosystem or the supply value chain of the PCB, the middleware, the manufacturing, the basic components, we'll also like to, support them within that ecosystem if they want, or any other area within that surrounding. So have to have their, this thing. And secondly, this place being very close to Delhi, just 5 hours from Delhi, probably even if somebody wants to source this from Delhi, then also they can do that.
Yeah.
So we'll be more than willing to support the complete ecosystem, not just end manufacturers, other people who also supply a lot of material also, like for fabrication.
Yes.
So Abhijit ji, my suggestion is that, you see, undoubtedly your approach of creating a specific components cluster is extremely on the right side. Please take help from experts like Richard.
We'll do that.
To have a more comprehensive kind of attractive policy, because we have all the intent and the inputs that experts like Richard can give to the MP government is going to be of immense help, both to the government and also to the industry.
That will be a good help, because you can become a two-way connect for us. As Atulji is saying.
Yeah, that's the whole intention of
we
asking
can
those
even
questions.
sit and discuss after this how we can,
sure.
develop the whole thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abhijit Agarwal, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it up with a round of applause for him. I'd like to ask Atul sir to kindly present a memento to Abhijit sir. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, let's hear it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, gentlemen.